Welcome to Break Fix's Drive-Thru News, your monthly recap for everything fast, fascinating, and usually four-wheeled. We're serving up a fresh batch of automotive headlines, motorsports madness, and car-adjacent curiosities, all with zero wait time and maximum flavor. From Formula One drama to concept car debuts, with garage-built legends to the quirkiest stories rolling out of the state of Florida, we've got your fix. So grab your coffee, buckle up, and let's cruise through the latest in the world of wheels, with a side of entertainment and just a dash of tire smoke.
Ayatollah rock and roller.
Is that how this month goes?
Sure.
Are you working on your new #1 hit single?
Recognize.
Yeah.
I make those songs up for my girls. They don't like them very much. And then they're like, Dad, where did you come up with, what is this song? And I'm like, I made it up. I'm an aspiring artist. What are you talking about?
Yes.
We'll have that audio recording somewhere. A #1 hit single.
Yeah, Adam is always telling me to stop singing or stop dancing. And I said, I can't. I got the music in me.
They're going to remember all these shenanigans that we did when we were considered old to them. When they look back, they'll be like, your dad was he was a fun guy. And then they start doing the stuff that you did because it imprinted on them, right? And they don't even know why they did it.
Exactly. Just wait till each school drop off. And I'm dropping them off in a bluish purple Beetle.
You know what? And what's going to happen is one of your sons later is going to be like, my dad had a bug. I've always wanted a bug. I'm going to get one, blah, blah, blah. And that Mark IV bug to him is going to be a classic, just like your grandfather's bug is a classic to you. See, that's how it works.
Exactly.
That's generational automotive enthusiasm right there.
I thought you were going to say generational autism.
Well, some of that goes with the hobby too.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, well, maybe not, because if we don't laugh, we'll probably cry, because the month of June should be a celebrated month. The month of June is amazing. Did you know that today, the day that we're recording this episode, is the exact 6-year anniversary of our very first episode?
Really?
Yes.
I did not.
Today is the day. So there we go. Happy birthday to us.
Okay.
But June is also the month where we celebrate the high holy holiday of motorsport, the 24 hours of Le Mans. Did you watch the race? I ask you this every year. Did you watch the race?
Who are you asking?
Both of you. Did you watch the race?
I watched what I could, having 2 children climb and jump all over me. I had it it was on my computer screen for the entire 24 hours. I got to watch probably about an hour of it.
Which of the boring hours did you watch?
I got to watch the start and a couple of the first laps, and I did watch some at night, and then I watched the ending, and I got to see Toyota win.
You did the Formula One thing then. You watched the beginning, you watched the end, you skipped it, you napped through everything in the middle.
Yep, so I missed if there was any drama about Ferrari or...
No.
I think when I started, Cadillac wasn't winning. Was BMW winning the hypercar?
Cadillac was in the front row, and so was BMW. And Cadillac's reign at the front was very short-lived. Toyota qualified like 14th and 15th. They were way back. Like, you're talking Genesis is in front of them. Like, everybody's in front of them. We're like, man, this new car is terrible. And then we have a Cinderella story at the end. No spoilers if you haven't seen it.
Because somebody's going to go back and watch it 2 weeks later.
No, of course not. Forget it. You can watch the highlight reel in about 20 minutes. How about you? How did you watch the race, Tanya?
Who did I say had it streaming?
Was it Hobo Max?
Maybe that's what it was.
It was on. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be on Max.
It was on Max. So I tuned in and out throughout the day. I went to bed like a normal human being because I'm old.
That's all it was.
And then the next day I tuned in and out, and then I caught the last hour, basically.
And what did you think of the race?
I mean, I don't think I watched enough of it to see excitement. I heard when I came back in, even the announcers, like the next day, were commenting that like the first race was unexciting until like sometime in the middle of the night or something like that.
Because it's a Toyota and it's reliable.
Because the first 12 hours were super boring and subject to basically perfect driving conditions and pit rotation. So wherever you started the race was basically where you were for the first 12 hours. It was incredibly boring. for the first half. And then we got a little sprinkle of rain mid-morning, kind of as the sun was coming. And then it was like, okay, so that kind of made things different and interesting. A couple of cars, broke or behind the wall, came back out. A bunch of cars were laps and laps down. And that's the typical race. But it was just, there was something about this year's Le Mans that was just like, ho hum, meh, meh. It just, I don't know. For some reason, it just felt like any other year.
Boring.
Well, that's the weird part because GTP was packed full of brands, just packed. 3 Ferraris, 2 Toyotas, 2 Hyundais, the Astons, the BMW. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's like, how is this? Is it because Porsche wasn't there? Is that what makes it that much more interesting?
I will say, unless you're in the know, there was very little marketing and pomp and circumstance
Yeah.
leading up to the race. I mean, that the only reason I knew the race was happening is because I actively sought out, okay, when is Le Mans? When am I going to watch? How am I going to watch it? There was very little online about it
Yeah.
until race day. And even then there's just not a lot of coverage.
This is a sign, as you know, the race was super boring. They gave LMP2 tons of TV coverage this time around. Maybe they listened to our show. Maybe that's because we've been complaining that LMP2 doesn't get enough TV coverage. And then I was shocked by how many times they would actually stay on the LMP2 cars and we'd watch them go around and battle it out, which was kind of exciting. But that speaks volumes to Le Mans fans, right?
What was funny to me is I was watching the LMP2 cars and I was like, why does LMP2 exist? Are they just trying to fill the field? Are there not enough hypercar manufacturers to want to do this? So they have to fill it with the Delaras?
They pay for the race. That's what LMP2 does.
I don't know. It did feel a little bit less,
Meh.
a little blasé. And it was, I guess, the first year to see not Dunlop. But
right? We talked about that. It's very strange. No Porsche, no Dunlop. It just felt off. And to make matters worse, this is the first Le Mans in a long time that wasn't on Father's Day.
Yes, correct.
That had trickle-down effects because we went as a family to Simeone for the museum overnight campout thing, the viewing party and all that kind of stuff, which I will say, mad props to Simeone Foundation Museum. They stepped up their game. I wrote a whole article about it. It's on the website. All the TVs were like everywhere instead of relegated into one corner. They had a family fun zone. They had simulators. The ACO had its own lounge at the museum, all this kind of really cool stuff. But attendance was less than half of what it was last year. And, we were just chit-chatting and speculating about it. And I ran into some guests of the show and other people that we know from the Society of Automotive Historians. And we're sitting there talking. People just couldn't put their finger on it. The race was kind of meh. Attendance was down. And I said, I think it's because it's not on Father's Day. Because Father's Day, you get that hall pass. What does grandpa want to do? What does dad want to do? We're going to go to the museum. We're going to watch the race. We're going to buckle down and watch Le Mans. It's always been on Father's Day. And to shift it up to the same weekend as the Spanish GP, which we're going to talk about, maybe some speculation as to why they did that in the other episode, it just was, everything was off. It's like that weekend when the time changes and you just kind of feel, nah, for like 3 days. It was like the same thing. It was wrong. They need to go back to the way it was.
I think any year Toyota wins, it's kind of a boring race.
But you got to hand it to them. Either they were sandbagging like crazy, but to come from the back of the GTP pack, basically, and end up winning it. I mean, that's a hell of a feat because there weren't a lot of GTP cars, LMP1, whatever you want to call them, that were out. The Peugeots were still there. The Ferraris were all still there. A couple of the Cadillacs. BMW basically stayed in second place for the entire race. Made no sense. It was like, okay. I mean, they did lead for the first while in the first half, but eventually they gave up the goat on that too. But still, it was just, where the hell Toyota come from? It's very bizarre. And I got to go there. We got to take a bite out of this 900-pound elephant in the conversation of Le Mans. Did I or did I not say last year Ferrari needed to stop?
You might have.
It was embarrassing.
I don't think it was embarrassing because, okay, they started somewhere, they got all the way to the bottom and then they came back up to the top. So, I mean, that's good.
I mean, they didn't even podium.
I mean, considering how terrible they were doing at one point to almost be close. is not
Did
bad.
they switch teams? Did the Formula One guys go to Le Mans this year and Le Mans went to Formula One? Is that what's going on?
Possible, because didn't they say last year that they were going to try and get help from the Le Mans team with Ferrari?
Right? Maybe they were all at the Spanish GP trying to help them and not in France.
That would make a lot of sense to the results of the Spanish GP then.
Well, we're going to talk about that too. But it was so disappointing. And now, if Ford comes in next year with their car, name yet to be determined, let's call it the GT 2027, Ferrari needs to stop. They either need to redesign the car because that chassis is already old at this point, or they need to stop. They need to get out, just like Porsche did, because it
I
doesn't
don't think
it doesn't
they
make sense.
abandon everything, but who knows? Maybe it's one of these off years where they are doing that. Next year, they're going to have the new car.
Yeah, how embarrassing would it be to not be there the same year Ford comes back, given the history between Ford and Ferrari?
In 1967, 66, all those 68, all those years where they were doing those battles, it was Ford and Ferrari neck and neck going at it, as dramatized in the movies, etc. But if they just kind of show up and throw up like a seventh place finish and Ford ends up like on the podium, that's not Ford versus Ferrari. That's Ford versus Toyota.
It's still better for them to show up than to not show up, because then you'd be saying, oh, they couldn't even get their act together and get a car to Le Mans, or they chickened out and they saw Ford was coming and then they backpedaled and decided they didn't want any piece of that. You know how the Ford fanatics are.
That's true. And Porsche lost 3 years in a row. And then they stopped. I kind of looked at it the other way and said Ferrari won 3 years in a row. They should have stopped. Do we see the 499P for 2 more
But
years?
stop and then what? That's it. They're done. They never run in Le Mans again.
Porsche will come back with something, but it's not going to be the 963.
I mean, I'd be curious what the development plan and the strategic plan was when they put the car together. I mean, we obviously weren't in those meetings. Could they possibly have said, I'm speaking about Porsche, okay, we're going to do this for 3 years and then we're going to back out and do something else? If they were just executing on the plan that they originally created, so be it.
Then the results are the results. Yeah.
Could be the same with Ferrari. I mean, Ferrari probably said, win, lose, draw. We're going to do this for 5 years. And then after that, we're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to focus on something else. We're going to focus on fixing the entire EV debacle that happened. And then we're going to come back.
We're going to talk about that too. My God.
Which I just saw the CMO for Ferrari was fired because of that launch.
Well, let's put a pin in that and come back to it. So let's kind of go down the rungs a little bit. So, we know what happened in GTP, LMP2. If you can tell them apart, that's great. There was some good racing, though, in LMP2, I will say. Let's talk about GT3 for just a second. Did anybody else see what I saw happening in GT3?
I saw Corvette one.
Corvette won, but who is in second place? And who is leading for most of the time?
It was Lexus, wasn't it? In their like 10-year-old car?
Yes!
I thought Aston came in second.
No, Lexus came in second. And Lexus was leading for a really long time in GT3, which begged the question, because I asked some other people, I was like, do you think they BOP'd everybody else to the slowness of the Lexus? Because the Lexus has always been reliable, but it's never been fast compared to the Corvettes or the Mustangs or the Porsches or the Ferrari. Like, they're always sort of just there. To Tanya's point, that chassis old, that car's old, that layout's old, all of it's old. And here they are leading GT3 at Le Mans. You don't want to tell me that they basically put potatoes up everybody's exhaust pipes and restricted them so the Lexus stood a chance.
Apparently that's only the third time that Lexus has showed up.
Yeah. Once they got the rules right, where they could cross the IMSA cars to Le Mans a couple of years ago, that was 2024, the Lexus showed up and it's been there, but you forget about it because just like when it runs at Daytona, you just sort of forget about it unless all the other GT3 cars break.
The Lexus is always in the lowest class. It's always in the GTD class. It's never in the GT Pro or whatever, at least on the IMSA side.
According to the interwebs.
Oh boy.
They had consistent pace, consistently avoiding unforced errors, mechanical issues, and capitalizing on track restarts. The Lexus stayed at the front of the highly competitive GT pack for 24 hours. Their fuel efficiency. The team's calculated fuel strategy allowed them to stretch their stints, giving them the edge to stay out on track longer while preserving both tires and engine.
They're still out there with a Camry.
So basically it's Toyota being Toyota.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Reliable, not the fastest, but fast enough,
And
and will
dependable.
run forever. Reliable and dependable. I mean, that's the Toyota motto.
Yeah. It was just shocking. But as we know, and having talked to Mark Raffoff and other people that are in the know and write the rules, especially Mark, the BOP exists. And if Toyota lobbied, maybe it was a thing. Like if we can lobby the Lexus, then if Toyota ends up winning, maybe they were sandbagging against conspiracy theories, put your tinfoil hats on, then it's a double win for Toyota, right? It's a win at the top and it's a win in GT3 for the brand. So who knows, right?
So they don't do that.
No, there's no politics in racing whatsoever.
No, 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 no. There's no sort of like BOP in the upper classes. I mean, definitely not in prototype 2 because they're all the exact same
They're
car.
spec cars, yeah.
Yeah, but in the hypercar class, the top class, they don't do a BOP. It's basically run what you brung, right?
Kind of. They build to
Within the parameters that they have.
correct. There's a limit that they build to, but GT3, because the cars are so disparate,
Yeah.
911 is not the same shape as a Lambo, is not the same shape as the Lexus, so they have to figure out how to make them all equal, hence the balance of performance.
Right.
And then what ends up happening there is, and Mark came on and talked about this on a Evening with a Legend episode, the manufacturers literally lobby to figure out the BOP, and in the end they sort of squeak ahead or behind, and then it's all the typical racing stuff. Cheat until you get caught, and then it's not cheating anymore, it becomes a rule, right? It's all that kind of stuff that's been going on forever. But there is a lot of lobbying and a lot of politics in the GT classes for sure.
Right, but in the hypercar class, it's basically run what you brung, and that's where all the innovation and
Yeah.
technology.
And that's where you see all the diverse engines too, where the
Yeah.
Magma is running like a 6-cylinder, and the Valkyrie's got a 12, and the Toyota's got a 4-wheel drive hybrid, and it's all this mixed match of stuff.
I think we determined the Magma was running a small V8.
And that's right. I had also heard rumor in testing when they were testing the chassis, they were running the Rally 4-cylinder in it.
Yeah, testing all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was impressed with them.
We'll talk about this later, but BOP is kind of what they're doing in F1 right now, like allowing teams to do either one upgrade or two upgrades. But we'll get into that.
Well, overall, Le Mans has come and gone. I worshipped at the altar like I do every year. Now I just got to wait for Petite, and then we start all over again with Daytona and Sebring and just keep going down the line. But there's the other side of this that everybody's been anxiously waiting for. June was going to be an extremely busy month. We were going to go from Lemons to Le Mans. I think we got to make some lemonade out of this lemon that we have.
That work out as planned.
No, it did not. We got to fill our audience in. Normally, we would do this as the GTM trackside report.
You got to make it to the track to make it a trackside report.
Hey now. The starting line is half the battle. It's like G.I. Joe with this thing, okay? And it's funny because it's sad. Dave Lowe from Enduroverse called me the other day, and he's like, "So how'd you guys do? How did it go?" And I'm like, "Dave, I got bad news for you. We never made it to the starting line." And he's like, "What happened?" So here's the deal. As Tanya knows, Memorial Day weekend, we are wrapping the car up, like literally putting stickers on it, getting it all done, trying to get it ready, going through all the final tech stuff, just making sure this is done. And we got to go move the car out of the garage. It had rained over the weekend. It's fine. It stayed in the garage. They're like, whatever. It's all clear now. We're going to take it outside. We're going to park it. It's going to be ready to go racing. No problem. What did I go? Like 50 yards from the house? I stopped to take a picture of it with the stickers on it so I could send it to our sponsors and say, "Hey, look, we put your stickers on the car." I just let it sit there and idle. I put it in reverse to back it into its spot, and it went into limp mode. And now, I don't know, a month later, it's still in limp mode. It will not come out of limp mode. So to make a very long and sad and expensive story short, I got to give mad props to the guys over at Benchmark Motors. I threw my hands in the air after doing a bunch of diagnosis, asking everything under the sun to include ChatGPT, like what the hell's wrong with this car?
Changing parts.
Yeah, replacing all sorts of parts, throttle body, pedal assembly, pigtails on the wiring harness, like all sorts of stuff that is, indicative of the issue that we were getting with it. And apparently these are known problems with the Ford Focus. And we're like, okay, fine, whatever.
Wait. Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
So many times.
Did you try rebooting it?
Yeah, well, that too. Oddly enough, in a fly-by-wire system, the car runs better right now with the throttle body disconnected than it does with the electrical system intact. So we can move it around a little bit. Again, sob story, shout out to Benchmark. We took it over there and I said, look, guys, we're running out of time. We have a week to go. I need a legitimate diagnostic tool to figure out what the heck is going on with this. I've maxed out everything I have, all the research I've done. Can one of your mechanics look at it? They said, sure, bring it in, no problem. And I said, here's what we've done. This, and this. Granted, they're going to do their due diligence. They're not going to trust everybody. So they went through and retested everything that we did. And they got to the point where they're like, look, man, there's a problem with the computer itself, the ECU. And I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be painful. And to make matters worse, on the Ford, the ECU is hidden in the fender liner behind the driver's side front wheel, which in my opinion is like the dumbest place in the planet to put it. I sort of scratch my head because I'm used to the Volkswagens and I'm like, I know where things belong. I'm going to say it that way. And they don't belong there. So again, researching the Reddits and the forums and talking to ChatGPT and Copilot and whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, they get wet there. And then the wires like go bad and stuff happens and shorts out the computer. And okay, fine. Our car's got high mileage. It's in really decent shape. It doesn't have any rust or anything like that. So we end up ordering a new ECU, which costs a fortune from Ford because we have to get it coded at a dealership. And then there was a big old goat rodeo between Benchmark and the local Ford dealership saying, well, it's a race car. And they're like, no, it's not. These guys have been really good about not touching any of the electronics. It's actually just a bone stock Ford Focus. Hook your OBD thing to it, reprogram the ECU, blah, 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 blah. Again, a bunch of rigmarole coming down to the last day before the morning of we're supposed to be at tech and the car is still not running. So I go over there Friday morning and they're like, look, man, they tried to program the new ECU. The ECU doesn't want to talk to the throttle body, which means that the programming is technically incomplete, but that stage of the programming you could do yourself, blah, 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 all this back and forth. Let's try a couple other things. So I brought them the original throttle body, all these other parts, and they're messing around. And I'm like, guys, I don't want you to spend any more time on it because the more time you're spending on it, the more aggravated I'm getting and the more expensive it is, right? Because they're not going to do it for free. Although they've been keeping in touch with us. Like one of the head guys there just reached out to me the other day. He's like, well, what's going on? Did you guys get the car running? It's been a month, basically. And I said, look, this is where we're at. After a couple failed attempts, we finally got a brand new from Ford engine wiring harness. We're going to replace all the electronics on the engine side and move the ECU. We're going to relocate it since the battery's out of the way. We're going to move the ECU into a better location, not where it can get wet, and hope to God that solves the problem. Because if it doesn't, the next move is a Molotov cocktail. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I've researched other options too. People are like, oh yeah, programmable fuel injection, put a Haltech on there. By the way, Haltech doesn't support that motor. Oh yeah, Motec. Motec's $15,000 because it's a direct injection engine because it's modern. That's out of the Lemons budget, folks. There's a carburetor option. There's even another option. I talked to these guys in England. They're like, we'll sell you a computer. It'll run the motor, but it doesn't interface with any of the other electronics in the car. So you're on the hook to figure out how to make like the tachometer work and how to make all the other stuff work that Ford will basically neuter the car, right? Like if you don't hit the clutch and turn the car on, they're like, yeah, none of that stuff works. You got to figure out how to bridge it. I'm like, who invented this system? This is ridiculous. Plug and play. We're going to put that in air quotes, right? I'm like, oh my God.
That's that British electronics.
I will say, to make this a little bit more palatable for us, if anybody at Benchmark is listening, we are accepting sponsorships.
Yeah, we're accepting.
So if anybody wants to help sponsor this, I mean, we could start a GoFundMe if we have to.
Dude, we're gonna have to because I'm gonna have to sell a kidney at some point. This thing, we're just hemorrhaging money on it at this point, and it's been the stupidest stuff. And this is just like ridiculous. And it's funny. I was talking to Greg Stanley recently. He came on the show and we did an interview and he quoted Jay Leno. It's so true what Jay has said. He's like, mechanical things break and they can either be remade, remanufactured, or repaired, but electronics degrade. And that's why there's not going to be classic cars of this era, because 50 years from now, when all the electronics rot out.
There's not going to be a classic car Tesla that everybody's going to go get.
No, that's just it. Once all the wires corrode inside of that loom and nobody makes the loom anymore, Are you going to sit there in your garage and take it apart and make a new loom that's only going to last 10 years and then the car's going to be a brick again? I mean, we're going to have a bunch of museum pieces.
So what you're saying is we should start collecting Mark IV looms now.
I am already working on that. That is the next thing, right? Because Mountain Man Dan came to the table and says, I got this shop in Pennsylvania that'll $200,000 machine. They'll hook up the car and they'll tell you down to the inch where the brake is in the wires, which apparently this is also an issue with the Ford, the way they split the wires, rather than what the Germans do, which is we're going to home run a wire to its location, but we're going to make it 2 inches too short. So there's no slack. If you ever have to go mess with it, it is like exactly exact to save money. What Ford did is they said, hey, look, we're going to put a branch here, and then we're going to put some chewing gum and some baling wire and a wire nut from like your home, electric system. And that's how we're going to hold it together. And that's going to rot and then fall apart. If you look at the schematic, there's like 10 of these branches where they soldered wires together in like a Y shape. And apparently any one of those can go bad. And then suddenly the whole system is a cascading failure. Rather than haul the car all the way to this place, a couple hours away or whatever to deal with it, I'm just going to hand the loom to Dan and say, take it to the shop. And if they can fix it, then we have a backup using the original that's repaired. That way it took us weeks to find one because a lot of people were saying it's no longer available. You can't get a wiring harness for it. And to make matters worse, the highest percentage of Focuses sold are not manual transmissions, and the wiring loom is different. So even if you tried to find one in the junkyard, you're taking a risk, but you're not going to find one. We've looked. There aren't any out there. It's bonkers. So I put my hands together and pray to our benevolent motorsport overlords in the name of the duct tape, the WD-40, and the night ties that we make it to Summit Point in October. That is the plan at this point. We have no other recourse. Cross our fingers, and if we don't blow up the motor, hopefully maybe we can do Road Atlanta after that. But our season is not even started yet, and it's halfway over.
If there are any listeners out there with a rental car for us to borrow, a spare track car, we might need your contact information.
Former guest Mike Carr, if you're listening. I know you got like 15 of them, dude. Come on now.
I did listen to, I say listen because I didn't really watch it, glanced. I did listen to a video on somebody doing this, quote, repair. Taking the harness out and putting a new one in. It does not seem, famous last words, that complicated.
The loom isn't that big. The Volkswagen loom is actually bigger, and I've done that one.
I was very surprised. I was like, wow. And it's all just laying on top of everything.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Apparently. Like, there's a couple that run down in the front, but then, like, it's all just, like, laying on top. And I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad then, maybe.
The loom sits on top of the engine for the most part. It's, like, right there in front of your face. So other than pulling it out of the fender well and sealing that hole, because we have to seal the hole.
Coming through the firewall, which should be a lot easier because the battery's not there anymore.
Correct.
And the plan is also to relocate the computer, right? The ECU.
Correct.
Put it right on the hood, so you just bypass all the extra bullshit.
The rain's right on it.
Right there. So it just hits it like immediately.
Well, I'm going to move it probably where the battery used to be because there's a big open space there now, and then we can put it in a box or get a box for it or something, waterproof it or something like that. My other plan is actually to make sure that when we relocated the battery that I rerun a brand new ground from that location back to the battery just to make sure that we didn't break a loop in the circuit somewhere. I've got cable on the way.
I have cable.
You have 12 feet of battery cable?
Probably.
Oh, I ordered it, so.
Yeah, because we bought all that stuff to do the battery in Audi, and we never did it.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I ordered it today, so it's no big deal. But yeah, only because our local battery place had a fire incident not too long ago, and that's a real shame because they've been an awesome sponsor over the years, just getting us everything we ever needed for the race cars.
Seems like they're rebuilding, so.
Yeah, hopefully they bounce back because that's a tremendous fire. When a battery place goes up in flames, that's a hard fire to control.
Almost like a Tesla.
Yeah, it's been a really weird month. Unfortunately, we're going to make lemonade out of these lemons. We're going to keep going. We're past the point of no return. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants a car that doesn't run. That's the age-old story, whether it's a classic car, a race car, or even a Lemons car. If it doesn't run, nobody's going to buy it from you. You know what I mean? So it's not like we can get out from underneath of it. And it would be disappointing to go through all of 2026 and not turn a lap in this car.
Mm-hmm. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
We should probably just take it to a DE to shake out the leg, to shake out the.
Oh God.
Don't
Oh
get me
God.
started. You want to see me go 0 to 7,000 RPM? Let's keep going, man. And then, as you say, my voice start escalating my voice.
What's this about Volkswagen Audi news?
Yeah, let's switch gears, shall we? Volkswagen Audi news. We know that it's a bridge over troubled waters at Volkswagen, but I don't understand the hokey pokey. We literally had episodes where we said goodbye to cars like the two-door GTI. We said goodbye to the Passat. We said goodbye to the TT. They said no more. It's not going to happen. We're only going to sell e-Golfs and ID Buzzes and ID4s and all this other stuff. And now they're talking about a successor to the TT. And this particular test mule is built on top of the Boxster.
This is terrible. I mean, it looks like a Porsche. Who cares? Why are we calling this a TT?
It's also mid-engine.
Bingo!
That's not TT either.
Bingo. So that's what's interesting about this. Is the new TT going to be the budget Boxster? Because if it is, this actually goes back to the concept R that they had in 2003, which was a Boxster with a VR6 engine instead of the Porsche Flat 6 with the EOS nose and its own unique rear end or whatever. So this is not a new idea from Volkswagen. They're going back 20 plus years and rehashing this. But what it does is it sort of ushers in the idea that if we're going to build the TT with this mid-engine platform, supposedly with Quattro, right? Because they always do a Quattro. They don't do front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive only Audis really anymore. Does this mean its big brother is coming back too? And that's the R8? Because as you guys know, the R8 and the TT in the later generations, they looked very, very similar.
Well, I think the answer to that question is look at Lamborghini. Is there a new Lamborghini coming?
Well, there's always a new Lamborghini coming. Unless Volkswagen decides to sell that company too, along with Bugatti and Rimac and everything else they've been scuttling over the last couple of months.
I guess Bugatti didn't sell enough baby twos.
Well, I mean, what else did they sell? All right, Tanya, what do you think about this TT other than you don't like it?
It's ugly. I mean, I hope it doesn't look like this. It looks like a Porsche, right?
Is it going to look like this thing, whatever they're calling this thing now, the new Volare or Concept C or whatever it is?
I mean, I hope not either, because that looks like a cartoon drawing. It belongs in Batman the Animated Series original.
So is this going to be mid-engine?
Who knows?
You see how they parked the Mark 1 next to
The
the Concept?
TT has become something like the Beetle. Its own iconic design, love it or leave it. The TT is a particular shape because it was the Carbon Gear or whatever.
Yep.
The Carbon Gear was its own particular shape. And it's just a weird hodgepodge, that Porsche thing. To make it look like a Porsche is stupid. It's badge engineering again. If you're not going to pull the thread and keep it looking like a TT, I don't know what we're doing. It'd be like saying, oh, we're making a new Beetle and it's a fucking 4-door sedan.
They call that the Panamera.
And then be like, ooh, the new Beetle. Be like, no, that has nothing to do with the Beetle.
It'll be the Beetle Clubman.
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
What Audi should do is they should take the RS3 chassis and put a redesigned TT body on it, and then boom, you're done.
But the problem with the Jetta is that it's not sporty enough.
The chassis, you're telling me an RS3 is not sporty?
Not if you're targeting that particular market. If you want something to go into that convertible market, into that sport coupe market or whatever, a sedan chassis is not going to do it, because the RS3 at the end of the day is a Jetta. I mean, the older Jetta, but still it's a Jetta with all-wheel drive and a lot of horsepower. Let's get real. And not only that, if they're going to do what they said they're going to do, which is come out with the new ultimate Golf R with the RS3 engine in it, why would you build something inferior to the GTI? It has to be drastically different than the GTI. So for my money, a rear wheel drive mid-engine TT Boxster, whatever you want to call it, kind of makes sense.
As long as it doesn't look like a Porsche.
Well, that's just it. If it ends up looking like this concept car that we've seen renderings of, looks aside, if it's pinned on top of a Boxster chassis, at least you kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's the interior that kills me, though. This interior is god-awful. Like, what is this?
Wow, it's very utilitarian.
I mean, there's Spartan, and then there's this dentist office that I'm looking at here. I mean, this is
Where do you shift the gears?
you don't shift the gears because it doesn't have any. I bet you this thing will be electrical too. I don't even want to know.
The TTEV.
The TTEV. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Tanya, you brought us this next article. Again, some more Volkswagen hokey pokey.
Well, this article annoys me tremendously
Oh, do tell.
for various reasons. Basically, they're saying the base Golf hatchback is going to come back to the US soon because Volkswagen is moving Golf production to Mexico. And if the tariffs are lowered, the base model could soon be imported to the United States. So, first of all, they're like contradicting themselves in this article that it's moving to Mexico, but then it really depends if the tariffs get lifted, whether or not we get it in North America. And then there's while the Golf has been built in Wolfsburg, Germany for more than 50 years, production of the hatchback will shift entirely to Puebla, Mexico in 2027. Excuse me, Golfs have always been also made in Mexico.
And Brazil, yes. Only the special Golfs were made in Wolfsburg. And the last Golf to be made in Wolfsburg was the original R32.
The person writing this article is clueless, for one. And two, I just... Maybe they're moving more production there because they're going to sell them there, but I don't know how they win if the whole tariff thing isn't.
Right.
Then what can of worms opens up because there's supposed to be everything made in America? How is that going to work? Who's going to shine a favorable light on Volkswagen for doing this?
I want to know what motor it's going to be in, and I want to know about these lies on the price.
Under $30,000. Apparently there's a Jetta that's 25 and a Taos under 30 also.
There's no way that Jetta's 25 grand. Who's selling a car for 25,000 right now that isn't used?
I don't know, probably Kia. Well, that's not true. We do know who's selling a car for $25,000 right now, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, Lord.
Slate.
All right. Did you guys watch this video? Look at this.
I think I might have posted that.
I watched this. This is the most bonkers thing I've ever seen.
I don't know what the point of this is, other than it's an engineering feat.
I mean, I feel like I could watch that all day, just going back and forth and back and forth.
I mean, this looks like somebody's like Lego Technic set.
This is the most important sentence in the whole thing. If you didn't read the article, this is the only part that matters. The reason this weird scaffolding where the wheels can move back and forth on this Audi is to help get it unstuck.
What?
Pardon my idiocy, but we just made this A8 front wheel drive, so it's less capable. And you're telling me with all this stuff, as soon as that gets stuck in the mud, that the front wheels are going to pull it out by jerking these wheels back and forth? Are you kidding me? The front's still going to sit and spin, regardless of what these rear Lego Technic wheels are doing back here. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but like...
I don't understand what that's doing, because the other big deal of this car is that apparently it runs on compressed air. Where's your compressed air tank?
I don't get any of this.
Which apparently that is stroking the air tank.
What? Oh my God.
I don't know.
So they're like pistons now. That's so terrible.
I mean, how far do you go? 5 miles with this thing? Like,
the first turn you take in this.
I don't even know how this must be someone's capstone project at school or something.
It has to be. It has to be.
Where they found a totally blown car that they got for like $200, and they said, "Hold my beer. I've got our senior project."
Well, I can tell you it's overseas because this Jetta station wagon has European bumpers on it. That's how I know.
The Euro license plate holder is probably
again. I'm more interested in this 25-year-old station wagon in the background of this picture than I am of this entire piece of junk that I'm looking at here. Science fair project. So, you know, we've talked a lot about Audi wasting their time on doing things like this TT and doing things like bringing back the Golf, etc. But I brought this up on Discord the other day. I found out what they've really been wasting their time on, and I want to talk about this again. The new Audis have projector turn signals where it shows the arrows on the ground.
Why? Nobody uses turn signals. What a waste.
That's the first thing I thought, too. I mean, BMW will never have this option. And the door that opens itself. I mean, this is just ridiculous stuff that nobody needs, right? I mean, this is like Bentley, Rolls-Royce level kind of automation stuff. But here's the thing. aren't we always taught, at least in racing, we're always taught to look up, look ahead, be situationally aware. Why would I want to divert my eyes to the ground to be able to see your turn signal? Who does this benefit? Because, I mean, if you have your nose in Instagram while you're driving, like everybody else I see on the Beltway, they're not going to see this either. So I'm wondering, I'm going to pose the question to you, Brad. Do we think this system is actually for autonomous self-driving mode 38, where the cars flash each other and indicate that they're going to change lanes? Is that what this is for?
This is the thing that gets you to the next thing. The next thing is the cars are going to announce
Oh, God.
turning left, moving left, moving left, flashers, flashers,
Please mind the gap.
slow moving car. But they're going to talk to each other in binary.
Awful.
We're all going to drive down the road and it's just going to sound like we're all trying to log on to AOL online.
Well, I got a shout out to Chrissy Crutchfield, one of our GTMers. She was on the show many times in the early seasons. She found how Volkswagen is going to solve all their financial woes.
They're going to sell everything.
Nope, they're going to sell everything at Costco. You can now buy VWs through Costco.
I mean, you can already buy a lot of cars at Costco, and allegedly it can often be cheaper than going to the dealer.
They have a whole discount dealer partnership network.
Mm-hmm. This isn't like anything new to Costco, but I suppose it's new that now Volkswagen is in their lineup.
Actually, let's see. Costco Autos. I bet you can buy a Mercedes at Costco.
And that begs the question, do the Germans now feel like they are debasing themselves by having to sell their cars through a discount bulk store like Costco?
Okay, it's not like it's nothing, but so limited time special deal right now on an Atlas Cross-Border Tiguan. Now till August 31st, 2026, if you're looking. $1,000 incentive if you're a Gold Star or business member. $1,250 if you're an executive member. There's also a limited time special on the Chrysler Pacifica, Chrysler Voyager.
You can buy Volvos through Costco.
Are we sure about that? We're going to talk about a Volvo subsidiary here shortly. We might not be able to buy Volvos from anywhere soon. We'll leave that dormant for the time being. Let's stop talking about Volkswagen, because one of the greats now has a blemish on its report card. There's been some ugly concepts in the past. There's been some weird designs. There's been Pininfarina pushing the envelope of what they could do with bright red sheet metal. But now that Pininfarina is gone, Ferrari has lost their freaking minds.
I would never say Ferrari.
I wouldn't say Apple either, and I know Johnny Ive was involved in the design. What is this?
I don't even know who to say automaker that belongs to.
It's better looking in blue than it is in that god-awful yellow.
Have you seen the people on Instagram that are redesigning it, making it lower, a little bit longer, changing the dimensions a little bit?
Basically creating a whole new car.
Yeah, their cars look significantly better.
Yeah, you don't
than
say.
what Ferrari actually is putting out. And why is it $1 million?
$640,000.
Oh.
Somebody said to me, jokingly, but I don't think they were wrong, this is Ferrari's checkbox. There was a rule somewhere that said they have to build some sort of EV, so they built this.
Did they have to make it look like ass?
Yes, because they don't actually want to sell them. So then they can say, our EV program was a failure, and we're going to destroy all these like GM did with the EV1 back in the 90s, and then nobody will ever talk about it again except when they're laughing about them because they're terrible. Because who's going to buy this? How many Teslas can you buy for $650,000?
More than you should.
I like how Teslas have become the Miatas. Like, how many Miatas can you buy for $640,000?
I mean, I'd rather drive a 30-year-old Miata than drive this. I'm not trying to throw stones or throw shade at the Miata because I like them, but this is horrendous. This even starts to make the Fiat Multipla look good.
Wouldn't that kind of backfire? Because if you're a collector and you have inside information and you know that Ferrari only built this because they don't want to sell it and they want to kill the program as quickly as possible, as collectors, you're going to want to get one of these to say that you have one of the only Ferrari EVs ever made before the program is killed.
There's going to be some twat that buys that.
Yeah, it's going to be some YouTuber or whatever. It'll be Whistling Diesel or somebody, because they want to light it on fire or something like that.
That for sure.
But 640,000 is a huge pill to swallow, even for a footballer, even for a YouTuber.
Ain't no footballer going to fit in that.
Yeah, but smart collectors, they're not going to spend nearly $750,000 on something that looks like that. It's terrible. They'll end up in a museum somewhere to say, look at this concept car that we built that never went anywhere. You read these press releases on the Ferrari website, a new chapter for the Maranello mark. I was like, oh my God, what ChatGPT wrote this? I was like, this is terrible. All this like pomp and circumstance about this car. It's just heinous. And at the same time, the market responds and the Ferrari stocks take a hit. They just plummet because people are like, what the hell are you doing? And the whole month, social media was just exploding about how terrible this car is. And my favorite one, because I was following the Italian social media as well, and they had Montezemolo on there, who's the former CEO of Ferrari, and he goes, it was so great. Translated to English, it's so ugly, even the Chinese won't copy it. Damn. I mean, that's savage. And he's not wrong. It's terrible. This was my favorite part of the month. Did you guys see this when it came out? Where Nissan was trolling Ferrari by showing pictures of like the Leaf.
I did see that, but the Mazda doubles down. What's that?
Oh yeah, Mazda apparently did the same thing with their car. They had another one that they showed, and they were pestering Ferrari about their car as well. But it does look very Japanese. I will give it that.
It looks like something that belongs in a video game.
So another quote I read was Cyberpunk Fiat Multipla. I was like, nah, that's not wrong either. There's not one redeeming thing. I don't even like the wheels. Like, there's nothing I like about this. Okay, if you had built this out of Legos and put it at Legoland, I would have been okay with it. Then it's acceptable. It looks like a Playmobil.
Yes, Fisher Price. This would have been perfect.
Well, since we're still talking roughly about Stellantis, Chrysler's going to save itself by rebadging some Fiats. Look at this thing. The Chrysler Aero and the Aero Cross will be rebadged versions of Fiat's latest SUV, which is called the Grizzly.
But the Grizzly was supposed to be one of the Pandas, I thought.
And this sort of looks like the successor to the little Jeep Cherokee as well. I mean, they're all very, very similar.
Call it a Chrysler, though?
Chrysler Aero and Chrysler Aero Cross, which is probably the all-wheel drive version. Oh, no, I'm sorry. One is a liftback and one is a hatchback. There's the difference.
The gold one's the liftback, right?
Yeah. Look, they even say fastback on there. It's got that Corrado shape to it.
It looks like the Polestar 2 or whatever.
It's not great, but it's not terrible either. I mean, it looks better than the Luce. I mean, I'll give it that.
The colors are fucking heinous.
The wheels are awful.
These could be improved with better colors. I don't hate them for Fiat. I think they're going to look stupid with a Chrysler badge.
100%. Why are the gas doors getting so big? You notice that?
Are these electric or actual gas?
It says right here, expected to utilize Stellantis' familiar turbocharged 1.2-liter 3-cylinder engine.
Right above that, they'll be able to choose between gasoline, mild hybrid, and full electric powertrains.
So that's why it's got the big flapper.
So you can put the charging port there.
But they look awful because they're so big now. Like, we were at a point where they were trying to make the gas doors as small as they possibly could. And now we've gone the other way. They've supersized them. But they're claiming sub $30,000. Would you buy this for less than 30 grand, Brad?
I wouldn't buy that for $20.
God,
with a 1.2 liter motor, it's going to go 0 to 60 in 25 days.
You say that, but all those Ford Bronco Sports that are out there have 3-cylinder turbo engines in them.
I've never seen one moving particularly fast.
That's because they blend in with all the other high top SUVs that are out there. Let's see what else we got here in the news.
So this actually dovetails with a later issue too, technically. So political world turmoil issues.
I did not know this.
Because Mercedes-Benz is technically has Chinese shareholder.
Oh, come on.
And we do not want Chinese in the US. Basically, this new bill in the auto market industry would make it that Mercedes-Benz wouldn't be able to be sold here anymore.
Okay, how many lobbyists from GM are on this particular bill to try to get more people to buy Cadillacs instead of Benzes.
I don't know.
I'm just going to
It's
throw it out there.
wild. I mean, I did not realize that Mercedes-Benz's largest individual shareholder is a Chinese-owned automaker. So that was news. But also, it would be wild to suddenly be like, Mercedes aren't sold in the US anymore.
I mean, Volkswagens won't be sold in the US anymore either because nobody wants them. So, it doesn't matter if they get Chinese funding or not.
I don't think I've heard that how large the Chinese stakeholder is in Volkswagen, but it's okay because the Volkswagens are being made in Mexico now. So
Whatever happened to if you want somebody to buy your car, you actually just make a better car?
Nope, can't do that because all the cars look the same now.
You can still make a better car.
No, it's not possible.
Toyota's been making better cars for decades now.
But they're boring, you see.
They're still better cars. They still outsell anything General Motors ever sold.
That's true. They are like they're number 3 largest company, or are they number 1 again?
I don't know if they're number one.
They're definitely on the podium, that's for sure.
Always quality over quantity for me.
Yeah, reliability, dependability, that is Toyota's middle name for sure.
this dovetails with a later article, which I think makes sense to talk about now, even though it's EV, is the Polestar for the same reason, because Polestar is owned by a Chinese group. They too are now being shut out of the US market.
So what does that mean for Volvo, the parent designer of Polestar, before they split them off? Because the Polestar name even comes from Volvo. Remember, they had the Polestar series cars. They were all blue. They were the hot Volvos and everything. And then they spun up this company. Volvo's owned by Geely, Giggly. What was that movie?
Geely.
Jenny from the Block, was it? J-Lo? At any rate.
So this is the weird thing, and I don't know the reason yet, but apparently we're allowing Volvo to stay,
Lobbyists.
which doesn't make any sense.
Because they aren't direct competitors to Cadillac.
No,
There you go.
they aren't direct competitors, or they are competing against Tesla.
There you go. So Elon's got his lobbyists trying to get all the competition out of the way.
I mean, I doubt they're selling as many Polestars as a Tesla, but
I haven't seen one in front. They sell about as many of these as they sell Fisker Oceans.
I haven't read enough into this new legislation or bill that they're trying to pass that would make all this happen. I don't know why we would exempt Volvo of the same Geely as Polestar.
And if that's the case, if they're successful in pushing Polestar out, it's only a matter of time before the other shoe falls, and then Volvo will be no more. But it could also be that Volvo's dealer network is mature enough now, robust enough, that maybe the US can't get rid of them, versus maybe there's a couple pop-up Polestars here and there.
Instead of too big to fail, too big deport.
Yeah, pretty much.
The problem part of it too is there's software in the cars, and that's also a reason to create this ban. Again, I haven't read deep enough into it, but it's like if you've got software still being put in these cars that's originating out of China, and that's part of the reason to have this bill or whatever, then I don't understand, still don't understand how Volvo gets away with it.
I don't know, maybe there's more Bosch stuff in a Volvo than there is in a Polestar?
Unless they're changing the stuff in the Volvo so then it makes it compliant.
Look at it this way. The tinfoil paranoia hat says you park a Geely car in a garage somewhere in the District of Columbia. I'm sure it's designed to do nefarious spy versus spy type of things, right? That's what that car is doing all day long. It's sitting there pinging and trying to capture packets in the air from the White House wireless system or something. Like, this is the kind of stuff I deal with on the regular, so it's probably not far from the truth.
Well, that's what it, so here we go. The rules included a ban on most Chinese developed and maintained software that took effect in March 26 for the 2027 model year and covered companies with significant Chinese ownership. Lawmakers have proposed making the rules even tougher. Quote, given our ownership, Volvo Car USA was required to follow a process with the U.S. Department of Commerce to obtain a specific authorization for the continued import and sale of connected cars in the U.S., the company said. With this specific authorization, Volvo Cars can continue its growth plans in the United States. Like, that doesn't tell me anything.
No, what it says is Volvo is now TAA compliant. That's what they are.
I guess this is courtesy of CNBC.
Volvo filed the correct paperwork,
basically. And Polestar didn't.
but they only did it for Volvo because I think they were planning on shutting down Polestar anyway. So instead of saying we're pulling out because we're not selling enough Polestars, they're using this as kind of a scapegoat. Say, well, we're not allowed to sell them in the US anymore.
So the end of this article says that Polestar continues to, quote, work with the U.S. authorities to meet the requirements of the announced regulations.
Trying to get their authority to operate. No, I get it. I get it. It's all very DOD-esque at the end of the day.
So who knows? Maybe Polestar will be able to continue once they meet whatever the requirements are.
Yeah, nobody's buying their cars. Nobody's going to buy them then either. So as we wrap out this segment that took a left turn at Albuquerque somewhere, but we're still in Lower Saxony, I want to talk about the hottest piece of BMW news that was all over the month of June. This is the only thing there was to talk about right here. How many ways can you say the same thing over and over and over again?
Well, you also missed that the new M3 is going to be an EV.
No, I didn't miss that. I just choose to ignore the fact that that car even exists because it's terrible. No, the M2 is really the M3, right? The M3, I don't know what that is now. We talked about it before. It's big, it's huge, it's the size of a 5 Series, blah, blah, blah. The M2 sort of eclipsed the M3 in terms of like, I can get it with 2 doors and I can take it to the track tomorrow and go have fun. And now it's like the first ever all-wheel drive M2 has a button that makes it rear-wheel drive and, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, what? That sounds really complicated. I don't want any of that. None of it. All right. Well, let's talk about domestics before we talk about Japanese cars. A little note here from General Motors.
Yes, which follows on to another note that we had in a previous drive-through about, I think it was Volkswagen.
Yep.
Getting into the munitions business.
Oh my God.
As I guess a way to help them sell their Costco cars. It was recently announced from Lockheed that they have a collaboration to strengthen America's manufacturing and defense industrial base. And working under a memorandum of understanding, Lockheed Martin and GM Defense will explore opportunities to accelerate the delivery of critical capabilities and innovation by combining Lockheed Martin's defense production expertise with General Motors' advanced industrial capabilities and high-rate commercial manufacturing and engineering, courtesy of Lockheed Martin's webpage.
It comes as no surprise that General Motors is involved with the DoD, DOW, whichever acronym you want to use these days, because they've been supplying Hummers to the military for how long?
Well, that's the thing. Here's what I just learned with this article that I had no appreciation for, because why would I care? GM Defense, the subsidiary of the parent company General Motors, has been around since 1914.
Yep.
So this really isn't news. I don't even know why this is newsworthy.
It's old news.
This is something they've already been doing for over 100 years then.
Yep.
Now, maybe specifically munitions hasn't been what they've been focused on, but supporting military vehicles and software and things like that, they must have been doing with the Hummers for the last 100 years.
To that end, there's a difference between building the thing that carries the things that go boom and building the things that go boom. Right?
Apparently now they're going to add the thing that goes boom.
All right, let's play a little fact or crap.
Fact or crap?
The Subaru headline here is Subaru is building 3 new manuals and one of them is a hatchback.
I believe that is fact.
Is that before or after they settle the massive class action lawsuit they have against them right now? Or is this a result of the class action lawsuit so they can try to make up lost ground for making nothing but cars that look like refrigerators with plastic cladding on them? Dude, that last Forester looks like an industrial oven. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, they're pretty ugly. And whatever that WRX thing is really heinous looking. Whatever their latest one is, or sedan, whatever one it is, it's really ugly. I don't know. I mean, it's coming from a reputable source, more or less. So it's a tease. So who knows what is actually going to happen.
I think that market is past. I think Subaru has changed their brand to align itself with REI and Cliff Bars.
No, I think they're more LL Bean.
But no Eddie Bauer. That's Ford. You can't have an Eddie Bauer edition Subaru.
Eddie Bauer's gone.
Oh, that's right. That's sad. Imagine an Eddie Bauer edition Bronco today. Those were cool.
They-
Brett's like, no. Despite the fact that the images of these cars under these covers are fake, they're AI generated, and one of them's supposed to look like a BRZ.
We don't have to assume they said it.
Okay, fine. And then WRX hatchback and WRX sedan. Those are the obvious choices.
I mean, they said it would be a WRX STI, a Breezy, and an Impreza hatchback.
Again, Brad, would you buy any of those cars?
If it was a BRZ STI, maybe.
Which will never exist.
Well, there you go. I think you have your answer.
I don't want a Subaru, but if you told me I had to buy a Subaru, I would probably go for the Impreza hatchback. But I would want it to be the STI, to Brett's point. So if it wasn't, then probably the Breezy.
Okay. Let's make it equal.
Well, STI versions.
STI hatchback, Golf R, and I'll give you the 5-cylinder turbo, or a Mazda 3 Speed.
Why'd you leave off the GR Corolla?
All right, we'll add the GR. That's fair. Of the four, these are the four hot hatches we have to choose from in the United States, assuming that this Impreza comes back. Which one would you buy?
What's the price point?
It doesn't matter because the price point, as we know, is all over the map. You might as well just throw darts at a sandbox. It makes no difference.
Well, at that point, I would buy whatever fits my price point. So if I can't afford a $75,000 Golf R with the RS3 motor,
yeah, there we go. There it is.
then I'm not buying a $75,000 Golf R with the RS3 motor. I mean, my bank account has already dictated to me what I'm going to be able to buy. But a GR Corolla at the $40,000 mark is much more palatable and much more friendlier to my finances. So I would probably end up with the GR Corolla.
No. You see, now you're just falling into the Toyota thing. Dependability, reliability. I'm going to go with that. They're not that dependable and they're not that reliable, those GR Corollas, as we've come to find out. So let's stop thinking with our brains and start thinking with our hearts. Brad, what makes you go boom, boom, boom?
The Golf R with the RS3 motor. I mean, duh.
Tanya's like, Mazda 3 Speed with a power pack is faster than the Golf R. So that's what you'd pick, right?
Well, we haven't seen how fast a Golf R with an RS3 motor is. How fast is an RS3?
Because it's never going to happen.
How fast is an RS3? An RS3 is pretty wickedly fast.
I read some articles, though. If you hop up a Mazda 3 turbo, they're faster than the Volkswagens are.
I don't doubt that, but you had me at 5-cylinder.
Yes. See?
Okay, so if we took the 5-cylinder off the table and said Golf Fahrenheit edition, the top of the line regular GTI,
then you can buy two Mazdas.
I'd get a GR Corolla.
Okay, that's fair. So no love for the Subaru from anybody, basically. Like, nah, STI, I'm over it.
Here's the reality. You'd blow it up.
That's it. That's all you have to say. You'd blow it up.
Boom!
How many people do we know that have Subarus that are tracking them that are still on their original motors? I'll wait.
That's a nah, dog. No, there's none. Zero.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. How many Mark IV Volkswagens are still on their original motors?
That's true. There's a lot.
I think
of
pretty
those.
much all of them.
There's a lot of them, yeah. To that end, you don't even have to be tracking your Subaru. The Subarus are sort of like Volvos in the sense that if you leave them the way they came from the factory, they'll probably run forever. But the minute you go touch them, the tolerances are such that they're grenades. That's it. Boom. Drop in the comments what motor you're on in your Subaru.
Jeez.
I don't think anybody's going to answer one. All right, so switching gears.
This is your favorite. I put this specially for you because wasn't there a whole What Should I Buy episode where this was the answer?
This was the answer, and I just saw one of these today, as a matter of fact. I have a feeling when nuclear holocaust comes, there will be two things on this planet, cockroaches and Honda Elements. They will just outlive everything. They don't die.
The Japanese Fiat Panda.
Dude, and when you sent this, I was like, this is the right time for Honda to reintroduce the Element. It really makes sense. They had a good thing going and then they got rid of it and people are nostalgic for them. And the people that still have them, their elements are getting old enough that they're probably in a position to consider, I would get another one. So now they can do like a tech refresh and they can get a new Honda Element.
God, I kind of want one now.
I mean, they're not the prettiest thing on the planet.
No.
Better than an Aztec.
Better than that Ferrari.
Better than a Luce.
Everything's better than the Luce. Good Lord. That is now the lowest of the low. I got to put the Luce on the uncool wall. I mean, it nominated itself. It's like, this thing is fugly. End of story.
I mean, the people have spoken. So
How can a car manufacturer make arguably the best looking car in the world next to the worst looking car?
You know, if you think about it from an art class perspective, what do they call that? The dichotomy, the imbalance between the perfect and the imperfect. It's a showcase in the ability for them to perfect ugly and perfect beauty all in the same design. They were able to do it.
Do you have Copilot up?
I do.
I want you to take a picture of the Luce, put it in the Copilot, and say, redesign this car as if Pininfarina designed it.
Yeah.
And I'd be really curious to see what it comes back with.
But let's see. Okay, here's Copilot. Please redesign the Ferrari Luce into a car that people actually want.
I feel like that's a dangerous.
it would be funny if it just
Look
showed
at
like
this. Look at this. These are so much better. Look at this. These are so cool. Oh, that is sick. What is this? That's like the redesign of a 575. That looks amazing.
But it's got to have 4 doors.
No, it doesn't have to have any of that stuff. Oh, I love how it gives me a picture of a Porsche.
Yeah, it's not actually redesigning anything.
No, I'd have to feed it some pictures, but whatever that is, that's hot. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about EVs and concept cars.
it's here, people. You can put your order in. You can put your
No.
order in for the Slate truck,
In time for Prime Day?
which is funny because this article is showing them at 27 to 30,000. However, the big hoopla that's been being said is that they're starting at 24,595 or something like that. And the news keeps talking about how it's starting there, but the thing we haven't been told yet is what the destination fee is going to be.
$20,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Here it is, 24,950. I had my numbers at the end mixed up, but a heretofore unknown destination price.
With an estimated 60 mile an hour time of 8 seconds.
So is Amazon going to buy all of these cars that they're making so that they can use them as delivery vehicles?
Oh, yeah, of
They're
course.
going to get high on their own supply.
Man, the EV range sucks, though. 200 miles? I mean, I guess it's good for an around town runabout if you're doing like little deliveries and here and there and just going
Yeah,
to
if
town and
if
back.
I owned a delivery like if I was a florist and I delivered flowers or some shit, I'd have a couple of these.
Did you see it's going to roll up windows?
Yes, it's very basic and it's like all, I think, plastic, poly, I don't know which one, propylene, ethylene, something like it's all plastic basically.
So is Tanya putting in her order for one?
I was going to say, like, this is right up Tanya's alley. This is her kind of thing. If Lex Luthor wasn't in the front seat here in this picture, I would have told you that these pictures are actually a 1/18th scale model car because it looks super chintzy. It looks really plasticky. But once I saw, Mr. Clean up here,
This is only, quote, up my alley because it is basic AF.
And it's cheap.
It would be perfect to throw bags in the back of and like drive to the dump.
And bags of what, Tanya?
Bags of yard waste, but you could also
Oh.
buy bags of mulch from the store.
That's what I was getting towards. Yeah.
notice the build quality here. I just want to point this out.
Hey, it's he's friends with Elon probably, so
You get what you pay for. They say that.
Are they using parts that they get from resellers in China that they use on their platform?
This is all Temu and Alibaba. God.
I mean, there's nothing. This thing is like basic.
Well, if it's all plastic, does it melt in the sun? Does it like start to warp?
Some sort of composite material. I mean, no, I mean that's not fair to say because there's lots of plastic on cars, on all cars.
I haven't seen a rivet on a car in like 70 years. What is this?
That's fine. You can't take that off.
You can drill that out.
Well, they're all customizable because you can convert that. Remember, you can get the cab on the back that turns it into an SUV.
This is hot garbage. Look at this interior stuff.
I mean, it's not great. Not
This
great.
is so bad. The gapping is,
Might be intentional. That might be the glove box. I don't know.
come on, look at this.
That's
This
pretty
doesn't-
bad. They could have at least touched that up. AI.
This is so bad. But so great. I love this gray. I don't know why I like this gray so much.
You know what? This is still better looking than a cyber dumpster.
It's better looking than the Luce. At least it's proportioned.
That one's cool.
Oh, the Range Rover looking one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. It needs wheels though. These wheels are garbage.
They're steel wheels, baby.
Cut down on cost.
Why can't I have these Jeep wheels on there?
Sure, you can. This is a la carte, buddy. You can buy, mix and match all the parts and pieces. This is all the pickup truck that they're just adding body panels onto.
This is like a budget Rivian. Look at this
Yes.
thing.
There
There it is. There's the winner, number
There it is.
77, Racing Slate. Look at that. That is awesome. That's the Baja edition right there. Good Lord. Wow. Look
Is
at
it
this.
too late
That's a choice.
to scrap the Ford and get this for Lemons?
This would be hilarious for Lemons. The problem is we would run for about 20 minutes and then we would spend the rest of the 7 hours and 10 minutes recharging the batteries. Yeah. Well, since we're talking about EVs and concepts, Tanya, you brought another one to the table. What is this?
Can you imagine Toyota's filing a patent that simulates an engine stall in an electric vehicle?
What? Why?
This is another article where I'm like questioning sanity. If the driver operates the vehicle in a quote unfavorable way, such as selecting the wrong gear at the incorrect engine speed, the car stops the motor and applies the brakes, simulating a stall. This also recreates the harsh, jerky motion drivers experience in a conventional vehicle. I'm sorry, you don't stall a car once you're already moving.
Right.
You can't stall by going from second to third or third to second or fourth to fifth. It does not work that way.
Yeah. It's only when you take off.
It's
Oh my
only
God.
on takeoff. So to say that selecting the wrong gear at the incorrect engine speed, you're going to suddenly have the brakes slammed on you.
It's going to be like that race at Suzuka with Colapinto where it drops anchor in front of everybody and suddenly everybody on the beltway is going every which direction because your Toyota decided to shut itself off.
Because what you're really trying to simulate there is a money shift, and that isn't going to slam the brakes on in your car.
That's just going to go pop and then you're going to keep rolling and catch fire.
So this is just wild. Like, really?
Why do you need to simulate that? We can just drive a GR Corolla and do it for real. I mean, what the hell's the point of this?
Maybe this is the next transmission for the GR Corolla.
Oh my God. Don't solve the motor problems they have. Invent this garbage.
Also, for stalling, I mean, you can stall out in any gear. It's not just when you're starting. It's if the RPMs go low enough.
I have never
No.
stalled outside of first gear takeoff.
You haven't, no, but theoretically.
Theoretically, yes.
You can be
If
in
you,
second. The reason you stall is because the RPMs go low enough.
yes, this is true.
The only time that would happen
You're coming to a stop.
if you have a carbureted motor and you don't have the butterflies set right for idle, or on a fuel injected car and the idle speed motor isn't working because it's always going to catch itself.
No, you could do what he's saying. And the only way to do what he's saying is you are coming to a stop and you do not take it out of gear or downshift through the gears.
I guarantee you,
Clutch in.
you get in your wagon.
Yeah,
you
yes,
put it in
yes.
fifth. You get up to fifth gear, and you just let it coast down. You don't shift. You don't do anything. Your RPMs are going to go low enough that you're going to stall the motor.
That's impractical driving.
Yeah,
This
nobody
makes-
drives
Well,
like
of course
that.
it is. I'm
Yeah.
just saying to
But
say
yes.
you can only do it
Yes.
at start is incorrect.
Okay.
Theoretically, technically, yes.
All right,
Yes.
whatever.
Well, I don't want Mark Hewitt to say.
No, Mike Crutchfield to say it instead. Well, technically.
Well, Volkswagens don't stall. Volkswagens are the greatest cars ever.
And Hoovers are the best vacuums too. I mean, what? It's like, who cares?
You can stall your Hoover.
You could actually. Too much stuff clogging it.
Too much sucking.
Too much.
Well, no lost and found. We already nominated the Luce for the cool wall. We don't have any Tesla news.
I didn't even look it up.
we're going to jump to lowered expectations, what we call seriously what could go wrong. And this one is a seriously what could go wrong. California proposal aims to regulate aftermarket tires.
Aren't all tires aftermarket because car manufacturers aren't making tires?
I think what they're trying to say here is you will only be able to buy the tires that the manufacturer contracted with the tire manufacturer to put on your car when you bought them from the dealership. So, for instance, Porsche for years has come with Michelins, and Mercedes has come with Continentals from the factory. If this rule passes, whatever tire your car is supposed to have, you only have one channel in which to buy it.
It's not forcing you to buy the same tire, but it's forcing you to buy an equivalent tire.
Yeah, but they're going to limit what's considered equivalent.
The way I skimmed this article, you are buying all seasons. You're not buying a summer ultra high performance, low tread wear that you're changing them more often. You're not buying that track tire disguised as a street tire.
Right.
That's the crux of it. Because if you look at an all season, honestly, what's going to be the difference between a Michelin and this and that and the other when they're all turds in every condition? They're all going to last long. And I think that's the crux of this is don't go get stickies and ride around them on the street because they're not going to last long.
According to the bullet points of this probably AI generated article, California's proposed replacement tire efficiency program would set standards requiring all aftermarket tires to be at least as efficient as the tires that were sold on the car when they were new.
And you got all seasons.
The second bullet point says, while the proposed regulations could improve fuel economy figures, they could also impact the lifespan of the replacement tires. Okay, the only thing that affects the fuel efficiency when you switch tires is the overall diameter of the tire. If you go to a taller tire, it makes your gearing longer. If you go to a shorter tire, it makes your gearing shorter. That's going to impact your fuel economy. If the overall diameter of the tire is the same, the rolling resistance really doesn't matter. The tire is the tire is the tire. The motor and the transmission are going to operate at the same speed that they were operating at with the factory tires. I mean, next they're going to tell you that you can only use factory crap brake pads too, because it's illegal to make your stopping more efficient because that is less efficient for fuel economy if you have better brakes. That's going to be the next thing. This is all to make sure that we put the collector car and enthusiast and motorsport communities under the thumb of the government.
Tire shops in Nevada and Oregon and Washington State and all surrounding states of California are about to get a bump in business.
How do we do an economy of scale here? Because if I'm driving around in an old car, which they already want to try to ban, what's the efficiency of the tires back then? I might as well get sticky tires because the tires back then were garbage. They don't make tires that bad today. So where do you draw the line? Where's the statute of limitations here? Where's the cutoff to say all cars after 2020 abide by this rule? Because it doesn't make sense to impose it on a 1965 Ford Mustang convertible when the tires back then, you could get bias plies or you could get potentially radials. They don't make those kind of tires anymore. If you got an old Packard, what tire are you going to put on there? This is ridiculous.
I don't know what to say.
This is right up there with the CEO of Ford basically saying, we make the cars overly complicated on purpose so that people can't fix them. Like that's their way around the right to work thing, is they're like intentionally making the cars harder to work on. So you have to take it to the dealership. Let's go back to simple stuff. Stop cutting corners, build cars that are reliable, that can be fixed. Because at the end of the day, when a car breaks, it breaks not when you're 10 feet from the dealership and you can just push it in there and, whatever. It always breaks in the worst of places, at the most inopportune time, in the worst conditions. And it's like, why can't I do like an old Land Rover and fix it with a broken spoon and a screwdriver? I got to be a space shuttle scientist now. But it's like every time you turn around, every consumable piece of the car is suddenly going to be government regulated. It's insane. You're taking all the fun away. Cars are fun. Am I wrong?
No.
Brad says no. Brad says no.
You're not wrong. They're not supposed to be fun, though. Just like music and dancing is not supposed to be fun.
America was built on driving freedom. I'm telling you. Just getting away from this because it's just raising my blood pressure.
Don't say.
I'm trying not to get on my soapbox.
The good thing we live on the East Coast.
You know as well as I do that California is the head of the snake. If it gets approved in California, it's 5 years, and then we're going to see it over here. It's just a matter of time. Anyway, I have a recommendation for this month's book club. Shout out to guest of the show, friend of the show, and Argot Singer Symposium presenter many times over, Preston Lerner, has a new book, The Deadliest Decade. It is now officially available. You can actually hear part of the book in an excerpt from a symposium presentation he did in the past. Preston was on the show back in the winter along with Matt Stone, talking about their careers and their past and working together in Motor Trend and things like that. He alluded to his book coming out on that episode. It's finally out. You can buy it now on Octane Press, $39.95, and that's all about the deadliest decade of Formula One. So very cool. I have to order my copy still, and it's going to be on my list of books to read for my summer reading. I don't want to put my official Break Fix recommended read on it, but knowing Preston, this is a recommended read. I don't even have to read it yet. And having heard the excerpts already, I know it's going to be good. So if you're a Formula One fan, definitely check out Preston's new book. And just as a final reminder for the summer, if you happen to be in the Midwest and the surrounding Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, or Ohio areas, and you want to make a run up to one of the coolest concours in the Midwest, come join us July 10th through the 12th in South Bend, Indiana for the concours at Culpshaholm, where we will also be presenting Automotive History Live. It's an automotive history conference. William, John Summers, and I will be presenting on the Bianco Special. You'll be able to meet Don from Garage Style and a bunch of other personalities from the NPN. We'll all be there in South Bend in person. So if you can make it, great. Tickets are still on sale. You can go to concours at culpshaholm.com. And if you can't make it all the way out and you're interested in the topics, which are posted on the Concours website under Automotive History Live, you can watch the live stream on our Twitch, twitch.tv Grand Touring Motorsports. So this is the last time we'll talk about this because we're going to go live here in about a week or two. So you'll be able to catch up on all that. And there will be a introductory episode to our new series, Automotive History Live, named after the symposia at the Studebaker Museum. So watch out for that. Andy Beckman comes on, tells us all about the history of the museum and South Bend and why they started the conference and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to lead the way for some really great presentations throughout the year. So we're kicking off a whole new series as part of the Motoring Podcast Network. So look forward to that.
Don't forget, if you're looking for that extra special automobilia to complete your garage, office, den, or man cave, be sure to check out GarageStyleMagazine.com for a list of upcoming auctions and events, along with a curated list of items going up for sale all over the country. Because after all, what doesn't belong in your garage?
Thanks for that, Brad. You know what belongs in our garage?
Ferraris, Luces.
Well, that. But Tanya always finds the coolest stuff.
Take my money now.
It's almost the right color.
I know.
I need like two of them so that I can do the rallied out version. If you look at the pictures, because it comes with like the lights and whatnot to put on the front and the stickies, and then the regular version without that.
I'm going to buy two, so you might as well just buy two as well.
It's coming soon. No date yet, but Mattel Brick Shop is launching the 84 Audi Sport Quattro set.
I'm just going to say it. Why can't Lego do cool stuff like this?
It's a lot nicer than that wagon.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? As we've said in the past, when we talk about them on the Christmas episode, they're really taking a bite out of Lego's Speed Champion series. And unfortunately, Lego, I feel like they're mailing it in with those Speed Champions.
Yeah, they're all in on the F1 right now.
And that's just the same design with different colors.
Yeah.
And then the other cars look kind of weird. Like my daughter got the hot pink Honda S2000 from Fast and the Furious, and she loves it. She asked for it for, like a year. And then we finally got it for her, one of those birthday Christmas gift type of deals. And it's just like, she put it together and it's cool, but it doesn't even go together that nicely. I asked her at one point, I was like, is this you? Or did they purposely make it look like it got into an accident? It literally looked like it was in a wreck. So she's like, no, Dad, the front end, they made these pieces move. And it kind of looks like it's smashed. And I'm like, that looks weird. These are really nice. They're very detailed. You actually presented us with more than one quote unquote extra value, Mia. I mean, look at this Supra compared. The Lego one is super chunky and blocky and just, let me see if I can find it. Lego Fast and Furious. Let's compare these two so you guys can see them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this thing, and then look at that.
Yeah.
Come on, Lego, stop mailing it in.
I don't know if the problem is Brick Shop Mattel has no reason to sit here and try to make small pieces of stuff. Like they made
Right.
one big hood piece, right? So they could form it exactly as it needs to be, as opposed to be like, let me try to reuse 15 pieces to get the shape.
Yeah, but the problem with Lego is if you've built any of the modern sets today, they make all these very special one-off pieces that
I don't
you
know.
can't reuse for anything, but you can't do this. I don't get it.
I don't know.
And then finally, oh, come on, even Lego could do this.
Square body, baby. 83 Chevy.
That's actually kind of cool.
It's missing something.
What,
Rust?
rust?
Fire?
I was going to say leaking fuel and fire.
It's still one of my favorite videos when we went off-roading. Why did I have to be his co-pilot? God, that's pretty cool. I like that too. Good. Yeah, you're always the master of these extra value meals. You know, I am at a whole new low. This whole month has been blah, like we've talked about. You got to lift my spirits, Tanya.
Lift us up where we belong.
We got to go down south and talk about alligators and beer.
Well, this first one actually technically is south of the Mason-Dixon line. And this one hits real close to home. Starts with a B. So apparently, a family gifted their college son an $80,000 ZL1 Camaro, blah, 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 blah edition. It was stolen. It was retrieved, ended up at whatever dealer, only to be stolen a second time.
You lost me at I gave my kid an $80,000 ZL1.
I don't know who these people are.
Can I be adopted by these people? I want an $80,000 ZL1.
Well, he apparently was getting his third degree at the University of Maryland.
Wow. Okay, well, he deserves it. I mean, you know.
So I don't know if that means he deserves an $80,000 supercharged V8 ZL1 Camaro or not.
Maybe
but
he's in automotive engineering, so yes, he does.
maybe he does. But I don't think they found it for a third time yet, even though the guy at the dealer said, I watched it being stolen. I thought it was just a tech taking the car into the garage for inspection.
Oh, come on.
Collusion!
I think after the first time, like LoJack should have been installed on this car, like for real.
So I don't think they got it directly back when it was found. And so when they went to go get it, it was gone again.
And Brad, remind me, this is a leftover because they don't even make Camaros anymore, right? They're gone.
Right.
It's still a pretty car, though.
So
Oh, boy.
we're still in Maryland, apparently.
Yes.
Wacky Maryland people. So there's an Instagram video someone caught in good old Dundalk, Maryland. And if you don't know where that is, it's right outside Balmer.
This is amazing.
This dude is in a motorized wheelchair zooming down the streets. And this thing is fast.
This thing is buck wild.
It could be the video, but he looks like he's hauling.
He's rolling.
He's booking down the road.
Why is he not in the bike lane?
It's not a bike. It's got 4 wheels.
That has bicycle wheels on
Got at
it.
least 3.
Pops out. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Also, what are these wheelchair wheels that can go that fast?
Dude, there's a Porsche right there. You think he was like, bruh, let's go. But if you look at it, it's a scooter. Like, I think he's actually on a scooter, and he attached the wheels for stability.
I don't know what that is.
That's awesome, is what that is.
It's illegal, is what it is.
Yeah. The next article would be Baltimore Dundalk man arrested on his motorized wheelchair, evading arrest.
They'd never.
If this was in
catch
Florida,
this
it would have ended up in a chase in a swamp.
He would have been naked.
You started naked.
Probably.
With a beer in his hand, with a White Claw in his hand, because that's another article I chose not to put in here.
It would have been a riding lawnmower in Florida, though. You know as well as I do. They're not going to mess around. They just get on their Staybill or their Toro or whatever, and they're going to go.
It would have been a riding alligator. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Big Brother's got some new tech for us. Already existing license plate cameras are not only going to be able to track and read your license plate, but apparently they'll have the added benefit of now being able to track any sort of electronic devices on you, such as phones, wearables, infotainment systems, or even your pets, depending on what sort of electronic tracking devices you have on them. Oh, how nice. I like this. This is wonderful. Please, I need one of those Faraday cages to put my phone in while in the car.
This is the police state that we are turning into now.
California is going to buy the version that can read the type of tires you have, and then they're
Oh
going to
my
start
God.
mailing you tickets for having the wrong kinds of tires.
No, but look at the table of tracked devices, vehicle components, tire pressure sensors.
Yep.
What? Which means they're also tracking your Easy Pass when you're not on the Easy Pass,
Yeah.
when you're on a toll road.
Yep.
And asset tags. So does that considered like
Air tags. Yep. Yes,
this
it
is
does.
wild. Wild.
This is some Skynet stuff right here. This is craziness.
Like, how is it going to filter all that? Because I bet any given person's car literally has all of these in them at once. Because you probably have a wireless headphones in your backpack or your purse. You've got a phone. You've got at least one wearable watch or fitness tracker. You got
Right.
tire pressure sensors. You got other sensors. You got an infotainment system. You probably have a computer, maybe a tablet, laptop, whatever, because you're coming from work, blah, blah, blah. Key cards, your badge for work. Like, oh my God. Like,
Which means they're gonna know where you work. So this has got to be a huge security risk.
They already know that because your phone, especially if you have an Android, reports where you are all the time anyway. Have you ever noticed like Google Maps? It'll assume where you're going now. It's like, oh, it seems like you're on the road to work. By the way, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to stop and get a cup of coffee? You're like, what the? Turn this shit off. So they already know. They already know. The problem is the municipalities won't be able to afford it long term because the data center charges that it's going to cost to run this stuff is going to be astronomical at the end of the day. So I don't see it going for too long.
Oh, well, then that's where you're wrong because how do you make money off people's data?
You sell it to the Chinese. Yeah, I know.
There you go. So they're just going to sell it to the highest bidder, and it's going to be like Minority Report.
they're going to sell it to Bezos. So then you can get Amazon
Yes.
requests or ideas in your Facebook feed. So they're going to sell it to whatever that dude's name is.
Yeah,
and
and we're
Bezos.
going to start getting targeted advertisements. Did you know that the batteries in your tire pressure monitoring system are going low? You should replace them now. Here's a set I can add to your Amazon cart right away.
So Tesla was doing that, remember, where they were trying to determine that your tires needed to be changed and they would automatically order you new tires for your car and like send them out. They were already messing with that like 5 years ago or so. It's crazy.
I do it with dog food. I don't need to do it with car parts.
Yeah, well, you know, the comfort world. You know which car isn't going to have this problem?
Mark IV Volkswagen?
No, 65 Buick. You won't have any of these problems. Drive something like that. You can maintain it with a screwdriver and a wooden spoon and you'll be fine.
You can even rob the sack of suds.
Buy old cars. That's all I'm saying. If you don't like the police state that's coming, buy old cars. Because you know what's going to happen next. All this data is going to end up in the laptop on the cops, passenger seat. Boom.
So they're not going to need to chase anymore. They just meet the person at their house.
Yeah,
I don't even know why we need license plates, to be honest with you. Who cares? If you have all this other data, the license plate on the car is irrelevant because the car eventually will just transmit its own VIN number. So what's a license plate for? Who gives
Attacks.
Yeah, it's BS. Pay for those stupid metal plates that are ugly as sin. All right, what do we got next?
Now we're going to Florida.
Oh boy.
And we haven't had a good chase in a while.
Oh,
and I don't
boy.
think we've ever had one involving an RV.
Wait, what?
This guy bobbed and weaved trying to evade the police while driving an RV.
No, come on.
That's the allegation.
Oh, there's no video though.
No video,
Oh!
unfortunately. It's very disappointing. But he racked up about 8 charges.
Oh my God. Oh, look at this. Driving while license revoked, fleeing to elude lights and sirens, reckless driving, DUI, leaving a scene of his accident with injuries, resisting law enforcement officer without violence, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of controlled substance.
Glorious. So another person trying to evade police. So this one didn't make much sense. And the video is hilarious a little bit because a wanted man leads deputy on chase around the car.
No, come on. Ring around the rosy, ring around the rosy.
What do they call that? Is a Chinese fire drill?
Oh my God.
The
It's
best part
musical
was
chairs.
he wasn't even driving the car. The lady driving the car, they got pulled over in his Camry because of an expired tag. And then I guess the cop asked what the dude's name was in the passenger seat.
He said, Nunya.
Well, when he looked up the name, that's what his computer said because this guy didn't exist. So then he found out the real name, and this dude was an 8-time convicted felon with multiple arrest warrants.
Oh, wow.
And then he tried to run around the car.
I just want to start playing like the Benny Hill music, be like, as they just run around the car. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then he just takes off into the swamp. Oh, the body cam footage on this is amazing. God, look at this.
He's a fast runner, though. He didn't trip. He would have kept going.
Oh, no, he tackled him. That's what happened.
So was he faster than an Interceptor?
No, because he got pulled over. But like, he's pretty quick here. Look at this.
Sir, what's your name? Dragon. Dragon what? Dragon D's nuts, bitch. Come get him.
This is so good.
I think he tripped before he got tackled. Boom.
Oh, yeah, he did. He definitely did. He definitely
Yep.
did. You see him trip, and then the cop just like jumps on him. Oh, wow. That's wild.
All right. Before you dive into this next one, I want you to guess the vehicles. They only said what one of them was. The vehicles involved. 85-year-old.
Oh my God.
85-year-old Florida man accused of hitting triple digits in street race. Oh, hell yeah. So there's 2 people involved in this. We only know what one of the cars is for sure.
On any given flea market Tuesday, I would say it's like a Buick Regal and an old Cadillac DeVille or something like that, right? With a North Star in it.
Chevy Lumina and Ford Taurus.
I'm going to go out on a limb without looking at the article and say that it's Florida. This guy's 80. He must have bought a pony car. It's one of those deals where it's like, not only did he buy a Challenger, he bought a Challenger Demon 170 or something like that. Like something just outrageously stupid.
I'll give you a hint because we don't know what his car is.
Okay.
But the person he was racing was 57 years old, and we know what their car was.
In an
He
Altima?
had a pair of New Balance.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he's in a Corvette then. There's video and there's photos.
Him getting arrested because they caught whatever he's driving, they caught him. They didn't catch the guy in the Corvette. Or they caught him later, I think.
This is a Z. He's in a Z. He's in a Z convertible. That is a 350Z door handle right there. Look at that. That's what that is. He's in a 350Z cabriolet. And it's got the slope nose with the lights.
They just called it a gray sports car.
I called it. It's a Nissan. It's always a Nissan. Whenever people are in trouble, getting arrested, it's a Nissan.
And he said, I was out having a ride in my favorite car.
He's driving the Nissan Fastima.
Trying to see if they can show from behind here. So who's he catching up to? Wow, 110 and 125.
85 don't mean you can't still go.
Does that say extra on the side?
Definitely a Z. You can see the wheel as you watch the video just for a split second. That's a Z wheel. That's a Z door handle. It's a convertible. Boom. Nissan for the win. Boom. And this Florida man wasn't even in Florida. He was in Brad's backyard. They identified the Corvette. The question is, who won?
Well, not the guy. Well, they both got caught, so neither one. I mean, I guess the Corvette technically won because he got arrested later.
That's true. Granted, the speed limit was a little slow, but say they were doing that on a 65-mile-an-hour road. Let's just be nice about the speed limit.
That's still reckless driving,
Okay.
especially if it was in Virginia.
Well, I mean, they would melt your license and throw you in jail. But I see this guy with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and a ball cap on, and he's driving a quote gray sports car, and he's doing a buck 10. I would have shaken his hand. I would say, God bless you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your life, what little is left of it. I mean, come on, really? When was the last time you saw an 85-year-old go 110 mile an hour?
When's the last time you saw an 85-year-old go 85?
Into a flea market or leaving the flea market?
Well, you knew there weren't any Mustangs involved because there were no casualties.
Yeah, 100%. See, it's nice, clean street racing. That's what I'm
Nice,
saying.
clean fun.
Yes. Why we got to take this away from this 85-year-old man? That's good stuff right there. Well, let's quickly go behind the pit wall and talk about motorsports news. I only have one bit of news because we already talked about Le Mans and all that stuff, and I'm sure other racing was happening. Oh yeah, Formula One. We'll talk about that on the other episode.
You skipped IndyCar.
Wait, there's IndyCar stuff?
They were at Road America this weekend.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you.
IndyCar was at Road America.
I enjoyed your TED Talk. It was great.
The next race is at Mid-Ohio on July 5th.
I still don't get IndyCars at Mid-Ohio. It just seems too small. But I just want to point out, we just recorded our final Evening with a Legend. That's right, our very last one. After 30 of them, we did our very last one. That was with Nick Boole, an LMP2 driver. He was really cool, great interview. Talked a lot about what it's like to be a longtime LMP2 driver. 3 attempts at Le Mans. And no, he did not meet Jackie Chan, Brad, even though he drove for Jackie Chan DC Racing. So that being said, it's not the end of Evening with a Legend. It's just a metamorphosis for Evening with a Legend. So starting July 1st, we are changing the format. And David Coert, who was originally on the calendar for July, is going to join us in July. The new format is going to be called Voices of Endurance. And the idea is that we've kind of wrung out the wash rag on Le Mans. There's not much more water we can squeeze out of that thing. I mean, how many more times can you tell the same story? I hate to say. So what we decided to do was, under the sponsorship of Enduroverse, we're going to change the format to Voices of Endurance, and we're going to expand to not just drivers, but we're going to try to talk to engineers and technicians and folks behind the scenes at organizations like IMSA, bring back folks from SRO, do some stuff with the ACO as well. But we want to expand the breadth of endurance racing and talk about famous races like the 24 Hours of Daytona, or maybe, 6 hours of Sebring, or I don't know, Spa and the Nürburgring and Fuji, just endurance racing around the world. We want to expand that whole idea. So starting in July, we're going to be switching formats, and it is still a series where you can be part of the audience, and you'll be able to register on the Motoring Podcast Network site. Just go to Voices of Endurance, sign up, and you'll be able to sit in on the audience and get your questions answered by a living legend or somebody that's in the industry, somebody that's part of sports car and endurance racing. So we're excited to be updating the format after 3 years of Evening with a Legend and being able to continue that journey and getting more and more folks on the show. So really, really looking forward to that and hoping you can join us in the future. That being said, our motorsports news is brought to you in part by Enduroverse, powered by Hyperdev, America's premier endurance racing community. So check it out online and become a member at enduroverse.com. All right, what's left?
Couple announcements.
We don't have any. Well, Brad, that pretty much wraps up this drive-through episode. So we don't have a trackside report because we're sad and broken, and
We're on the track because we're on the track side.
but we're here all night. Try the veal.
Well, if you're not quite ready to hit the track, or your car is not quite ready to hit the track, don't forget that you can find tons of upcoming local shows and events at the ultimate reference for car enthusiasts, collectorcarguide.net.
If you're hearing us for the first time, be sure to jump back into our podcast catalog and check out other programs we offer, like the Ferrari Marketplace, the Motoring Historian, Voices of Endurance, the Racers Roundtable, Formula Fanatics, Break Fix, and of course, the Drive-Thru.
And if for whatever reason you enjoy our various podcasts, there's a great way for you to support our creators on the MPN. There's tons of extras and bonuses to explore on our updated Patreon page. You can learn more about our bonus and behind-the-scenes content, get early access to upcoming episodes, or support our 24 Hours of Lemons team when you consider becoming a Break Fix VIP by visiting patreon.com/GT Motorsports. As always, we'd like to thank our co-host and executive producer Tanya, and to all the fans, friends, and family who support Grand Touring Motorsports, as well as the Motoring Podcast Network. Without you, none of this would be possible. Outro.
Man, our neighbor really these days.
Oh, jeez.
Like, what is this rumbling for the last 45 seconds? And it's never mind.
You said Lemons team. There has to be a better word for that. Lemons. Wait, lemons don't have pits, unfortunately. That's the problem.
Lemon seeds.
Seeds.
Our 24 hours of lemon seeds.
I'm hemorrhaging lemon juice. That's what I'm doing right now.
I don't want to hear about you lemon juicing all over the place.
I need a cleanse.
A juice cleanse. You know, they use lemons and cayenne pepper. It's perfect.
Can we put that in the gas tank?
Maybe. It'll probably run better.
That's not the problem.
Lemon juice injected.
The Drive-Thru is our monthly news episode and is sponsored in part by organizations like CollectorCarGuide.net, Project Motoring, Garage Style Magazine, the Exotic Car Marketplace, and many others. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of The Drive-Thru, look no further than www.motoringpodcast.net. Click About and then Advertising. Thank you again to everyone that supports the Motoring Podcast Network, Grand Touring Motorsports, our podcast Break Fix, and all the other services we provide.